We are raised societally to dim our light, to not be too much, to lessen our expression. And one way, this is a major lesson for many of us, is that our authenticity in the way that we express ourselves in love is actually holding us back from confidently taking the lead, stepping into our personal power, and just believing in our own magic in life. When I was growing up as a very young child, my expression was loud. It was erratic. I was very playful. I was very silly and quirky. And in my personal environment, that was frowned upon, right? So I was basically conditioned to learn that if I'm too much, if my energy's too big, then I get silenced. Then my parents retreat from giving me love or nurturing, right? So then I grew up believing through this programming that I have to watch what I say. I have to stay smaller, right? I can't be too bright. I can't be too bubbly. I can't be too happy. I can't express myself authentically, right? I can't let my depths come to the surface if I want to be loved, right? If I want to have a relationship, if I want to have collaborations, because I had a very, very deep fear that people don't stay, right? Because when I was growing up, when I expressed myself, nobody stayed. Nobody cheered me on, right? My parents, they didn't give me that love, that support, that encouragement that young children need, right? So, this major lesson that I'm going through right now is really helping me see that my depths are beautiful, that I am chosen. I've been in an illusion that everybody leaves because I'm too much, when actually my entire reality has been mirroring to me that I have been in this illusion, believing I'm too much, so that I manifest loss. I manifest people leaving my life because I'm actually not being my authentic true self. So many of us in society today, we hold ourselves back. We don't allow ourselves to truly believe that we are lovable at our core, that we're allowed to be our true, authentic selves and still be accepted, especially by societal norms. Ooh, ooh, little robots, right? And especially here for women, right? We're botching up our faces, we're botching up our bodies, right? Everything's fake. There's no more realness, rawness in this world. And it's taken such a hit on the feminine psyche. I'm not going to disregard men. I know men go through this as well. But there is such a burden in collective consciousness around authenticity that is really just burning the bridge to our true inner self, to our self love, to feelings of worthiness, to reclaiming our personal power of knowing that you choose yourself, people will choose you. You choose to understand and love yourself on that level. There's no denying that others will mirror that back to you. So if you are dealing with cycles of abandonment, rejection, fear of loss, right? Please know that on one layer of energy, it is being unconsciously manifested into your reality due to that. But because I was in such a deep cycle of rejection and disappointment, I constantly lived through that. So, in a recent situation that I was in, I actually manifested that. It was all purposeful, right? Spirit always has a plan, right? People are placed in our lives for specific things, specific reasons, right? But it really taught me that this is here to reclaim my personal power, because this situation, this was the first person that saw me ever, ever in my life that saw me. And that was the trigger that I needed. That was that form of depth. The statements that were said to me that my depth was easy to meet. No one's ever fucking said that to me in my life. But that needed to be spoken to me, to show me, right? that I don't need to watch my words. I do not need to watch my expression. I do not need to dim my light to be loved, because the ones that love me for me will then choose to stay. If the ones that do not choose to stay, that's their own free will to choose, right? We have to have that lay that foundation of peace, of fluidity, of trust. And that can be very, very difficult. But if this is something that's of interest to you, if this pinged anything in that beautiful heart, that beautiful mind, check out the link in my bio. I have an interactive worthiness activation workbook, which is phenomenal if you are looking to get into the depths. It is directly connected to my worth method, parts of it, because I'm not giving that away through a digital product. That is more of my mentorship program that is going to be launching here soon. But if that is something that you're interested in diving deeper into, it's something that's available now for immediate download, that helps us get into the psyche, that helps us start laying the groundwork to come back to those feelings of worthiness, to come back to that authentic expression, to come back to that foundation of self-love, because that where our true success is. That is where our ultimate fulfillment is, beyond anything, because that personal sovereignty is where we excel.